Food can be both delicious and nutritious. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Belinda Jordan, your family physician and obesity medicine specialist. We're bringing back Doc Talk with Dr. J, and this month we're doing a mini-series called Wellness and Weight Loss, where we dive deep into topics that matter most to your overall well-being. Today, let's explore the intersection of taste and health with a very special guest, Jenna Harris, who is a wellness advocate and an owner of a local vibrant juice bar, Shake Express. Get ready for a mouth-watering journey through the world of healthy shakes and smoothies. Welcome, Jenna. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So we're going to kind of delve deep into the health and wellness and how nutrition kind of plays a role in this. Tell me a little bit, first of all, how Shake Express came to be.
Oh my gosh. So there are so many paths and stories that lead me to where I am now with Shake Express, which undoubtedly confirms that I'm doing what I'm meant to do. But I think the story that is most relevant for this conversation is my husband and I were personal trainers for 10 years, and we had a gym called Strong Point. And so throughout our business, or throughout training several clients, we noticed that there was something missing. There was a gap in the fitness industry or the health model. And we didn't just notice it because we had 10 years of data to prove it, but it was also because of how I was feeling. And what that lack that I'm talking about is that enjoyment factor that comes from doing a routine that you absolutely love. And also from, we were missing that aliveness, that vibrance that comes from approaching health as a whole. And so we coupled that with the fact that at the time, which was 5-6 years ago, because Shake Express has been open since 2015, we didn't feel confident sending our clients to go get a protein shake from anywhere that didn't have nutrient density as its as its foundation.
Right.
And you know how important nutrient density is. So we started to make them protein shakes out of our gym. And so with, what I was experiencing with my lack of enjoyment in my routine and what I was noticing with my clients, and then, the nutrition standpoint, we started to say, you know what, I think there's something here. There's something that our community needs that we would love to create. And so I truly made it my mission to embody a culture that I wanted to live by. Right. And that is how Shake Express came to be.
Wow, what a story. So, I get it, because, sometimes when we start a diet, when we're looking at diet, it's just so bland. People think it's got to be bland if it can taste good if it's a diet, right? Well, many people struggle with weight management. How do you feel like a guided weight loss program would make a difference in their lives?
So what I feel like the fitness, or not the fitness industry, the nutrition industry is really difficult and cumbersome for people to manage alone. And unless you're really going to put in the work yourself and read and do the research, it's difficult, because the food industry is all about convenience and making
the fast food.
Yeah, making foods palatable. And it's very normal in our modern life to overcome those, the fast food and the convenience. And so I feel like having a program and someone that specializes in obesity and in weight loss can really help them, to guide them, hold their hand, and reteach them, because really that's what it's about. Is we have to rewire our brain so that we can make those choices. And if you're teaching your patients, which I imagine you are,
absolutely,
yes, they then have the tools to one day say, thank you, Dr. Jordan, now I'm going to do this on my own.
Right.
But it really does require a lot of effort at the forefront to either learn it themselves and put in the work or hire a professional.
I think another thing that probably fits in here is the accountability. Them being able to say, not only do they have, someone helping them, on their journey, but also like being accountable. When you try to do it on your own, sometimes, it's just hard. It's just hard.
Absolutely. And as a former personal trainer, I have seen what having someone waiting for you at the door it does for a person.
Or calling you, why aren't you here?
Exactly. Yeah. So accountability is everything when it comes to getting healthier.
And going back to kind of the diet part, many people don't even know, like, where do I start? Like, they want to eat healthy. Many people don't even know what healthy is. They don't realize that something might be unhealthy. They think it's healthy. I think, something like you said, like the fast food, the convenience. Nowadays, that's key. If it's not quick and easy, they can't do it. They don't have time for it. I love Shake Express. I drive by there so often. My main reason for doing that is, I need more protein in my diet. I feel I'm losing muscle mass. And, I'm sure, like, as a personal trainer, you probably saw that also. As people lost weight, if they weren't doing some kind of weight resistance, they were losing muscle mass. But the protein part, tell us a little bit about how the protein part's so important in that exercise, and how does that relate?
Well, you said right now that you're losing muscle mass, and the fact is, sadly, we all are. As we're aging, we're losing muscle mass, and so it becomes so important to consume adequate amount of protein. And the standard American diet recommends very, very little. So, if you're someone that doesn't have the guidance from a professional and you look up the standard American diet to guide you, you're probably not going to get enough protein. I think they recommend 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, which isn't very much. And so protein is it's foundational. It's what's going to protect the musculoskeletal system. It's what's going to help us get up when we fall, to pick up our children, our grandchildren. And so if we're deficient in protein, we're really going to decline in health as we age. So drinking a protein shake is a really good way to get 20, 30 grams of protein, because I do notice a lot of clients, former clients, and now as a wellness advocate, people come to me and they will tell me what they struggle with, and it's always the protein. And especially if you're in a caloric deficit, they start to skimp on the protein also. It's hard to make sure that you're getting enough protein in when you're already cutting back on your calories. So it's so important.
Well, my coffee protein shake this morning is just it's delicious.
Yay.
I don't taste the protein, which is so important to me. I don't taste the protein. But speaking of kind of like the modern diet, so I don't feel the food out there now is as nutritious as it used to be. And now, like with organic and non-organic, and there's so many different choices, I don't feel that the vitamins are in there as well. So what is your thought on like vitamin supplementation? I always feel like it's probably better to get it in nutrition rather than as a pill.
True.
Kind of, how do you address that through Shake Express?
So unfortunately, our soil is so depleted that it doesn't nourish the plants and fruits as well as it used to 100 years ago. And so you really have to make a concerted effort to get those nutrients in any form that you can, but it's a lot easier when you can drink it. That's what I've noticed. And the more colorful, the more vibrant your food is, the more likely that it has a lot of antioxidants and phytonutrients and all of the good vitamins and minerals that our bodies need. So at Shake Express, one of our missions is to make every single product on the menu full of nutrient density, so that you can ensure that when you drive up to the window, if you're doing drive-thru, you walk in and pick up your beverage or your bowl, that you are infusing your body with a maximal amount of nutrients.
Absolutely. I think that there's a correlation between getting our nutrients through our food, kind of versus like everyone wants to like take more supplements, and it's not the same. Our body doesn't absorb them the same. Our bodies don't process them the same. I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of those supplements, they have to put them in such high quantities that even though you're taking them for a set amount of time, it doesn't get absorbed enough. I mean, they don't dissolve in the right place. Only certain parts of your intestine absorb that particular vitamin. So, I mean, I think getting your nutrition through food is probably key. It's key.
Absolutely. Yeah. The bioavailability, unfortunately, when you're taking a supplement is just not as potent as when you drink a juice or eat your fruits. Or your protein. And so, if you can get it from your food, that's even better. So just to give you an example, one of our juices, this isn't a juice, it's a smoothie, but let's pretend it was a juice. It would have about 3 pounds of vegetables in it.
Wow.
Which, can you imagine sitting and eating 3
I don't think I could
pounds
do
of
that.
celery? Like, it's almost impossible.
I don't think I'd want to do
and
that.
not palatable at all. So when we turn it into a juice or into a smoothie,
That tastes great.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is the key
That's
for
the
Shake
key.
Express. We want it to taste good, but
Yes.
also be doing your body a service.
Right.
So it just makes it a lot easier to get those nutrients in when you blend it up or juice it.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that you're a wellness advocate. So tell me what that means. What does that mean?
So before I deemed myself, I self-proclaimed myself a wellness advocate. I was a personal trainer, and then I became a wellness coach. So one of my goals as a wellness coach was to help my clients to embody wellness, to treat themselves as multidimensional beings, because like I said, when we were training, personal training, our clients were only focusing on fitness and on nutrition, which is only 2 of the pillars of the many. Some say there's 7 pillars, 9 pillars, 12 pillars.
Now, we have 5.
Okay.
I'll share those with you, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'd
finish.
love to hear your take on that. But regardless of how many we can agree on, we know that there's more than 2.
Yeah.
And so I was coaching my clients through becoming more dimensional with their well-being. And then I had a baby. And so I wanted to spend more time with my baby, and I had to step back from the wellness coaching. And so I thought, I'm so passionate and purposeful about promoting wellness. And I thought, how can I continue to spread that message in our community and whoever follows me on social media? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to continue doing what I was doing as a coach, but instead of teaching people or having them hire me as a client, as a coach, I am going to just have good content on my social media. I'm going to be a resource for people so that they know that they're not alone in this wellness journey, because you mentioned it can be so convoluted. It's so confusing.
The guidance. They need that guidance.
Yes.
And the proper information.
Yes.
Because again, if you just Google, I call it, Dr. Google, because my patients just love to use Dr. Google to find out what's wrong with them. But the information that's out there may not be the correct information. It takes someone who knows the information to be able to share that in such a way that's believable and reliable.
And relatable.
And relatable. You're
Yes.
right.
And that's the other thing is, as a wellness advocate, I am aiming to embody everything that is wellness, meaning I walk the talk, or walk the talk, because I want people to see that it's not easy. It's not like I'm perfect and every day I make great choices, but I'm more conscious, I'm more aware, and I want people to have someone to maybe to lean on, to look to.
A role model.
Sure. Yeah, a role model. And so that's what, to me, that's what being a wellness advocate means.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me too.
So I'll share our 5 pillars with you.
Yes, I wanna hear.
So as part of our medical weight loss program, we first and foremost, it's always about the health part. It's always about health. So we try to figure out, okay, what are we trying to fix? I mean, what's the purpose? What's your why? And if it's a health-related reason, then we want to include that as part of the plan. We also want to look at health-wise, what things are going to interfere with your progress? What are the things like hormones, thyroid? What are the things that might interfere with your progress that we got to take into account? Then of course, it's the diet and the exercise, which are very important pillars. And again, though, it's got to be something that you can do, something that's relatable, enjoyable. It doesn't have to be kind of the 5 days a week and always eat this and 1,200 calories. But it's got to be something that you enjoy doing. Now, what makes ours, I think, a little bit different as far as other programs is we really focus on the behavior part. That's my fourth pillar. The behaviors, the habits, the negative self-talk, the things that are going to have to change to keep the weight off, to just make sure that those things are part of the plan. How are we doing that? What kind of behavior modification techniques are we doing to change that? And that, I think, has made my patients very successful, kind of more long-term, And then, of course, our last pillar is kind of what tools we're going to use to get there. And as I mentioned before, like the tools that we use don't have to be medication. Everyone comes in like, I want a medication for weight loss. I want a pill. I want a shot. I want something that's going to make me lose weight. And it's not the shot or the pill that makes you lose weight. It's what it does to you that helps you make changes to help you lose weight. People don't always realize that. But other tools like Shake Express might be a tool for them. A personal trainer might be a tool for them. Counseling for those people who are really, maybe in a bad emotional place. That stress eating. They might need counseling to even get there. Bariatric surgery. That's a tool. And even people who have bariatric surgery, I'm sure that many of them have had to deal with the weight regain. We have a lot of patients that come to see me because they've regained weight after bariatric surgery. One of the first things I do is say, hey, you know what? Let's go back. Let's reset. And that first reset, right after bariatric surgery, is that they have to be on liquids for a certain amount of time before they can progress. When we reset, hey, guess what? Shake Express. We can do a reset, and then let's get you back on your liquid diet. Let's kind of start back where we started, and let's do it right this time.
Yeah.
So,
have you heard of the Hawthorne effect?
I'm familiar with it, but why don't you share that with us?
So I'm reading this really fascinating book right now. And I mentioned it to you before we started recording. It's called Outlive by Peter Attia.
Yeah.
He's a doctor also. And one of the things he was talking about is the Hawthorne effect, how when someone is watching you and when you are measuring data like biomarkers, cholesterol, blood sugar, insulin, all those things, we perform better because we're accountable. Someone is holding us accountable. So I think that behavior pillar is so important, and the fact that you're holding their hand through the process is holding them accountable. And so the Hawthorne effect is absolutely true and real for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people. We do better. We do so much better. Yeah. We perform better when we know someone's watching.
Absolutely. like right now. Typically, if people who see my social media, I'm not a very natural person on social media. I'm trying. I'm really trying.
You're doing amazing.
But it's different. It's a whole new world for me. I'm not a techie person to begin with, and the social media thing is I put off for so long. But
speaking of tools,
yes,
social media is a tool.
It's a tool. It's a tool. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. And I think it's been a wonderful experience just sharing your journey through your wellness advocacy. I love that. I love that idea. Well, I want to give a big thank you to Jenna for showing us how to make food fun and healthy, and for taking some time to chat with us today. Remember, it's possible to indulge your taste buds while nourishing your body. If you liked what you heard today, please share this video with your fellow food enthusiasts. Until next time, in health and wellness, we'll see you soon.